Hello and welcome to Weather HQ. I'm Paolo del Rosario. This week, we are diving into a range of critical agriculture and marine topics, from the ongoing threat of the Cocolisap infestation to our coconut farms, to a healthier, low-sodium patis made from green mussels. We also talk about the Philippine Coast Guard's latest coral reef restoration mission in the Kalayaan Island Group. Now, first is my conversation with the Philippine Coconut Authority Deputy Administrator for Operations, Mr. Paolo del Rosario, on how they're responding to the Cocolisap outbreak.
The current infestation affects about 516,000 trees spread in several regions, compared to the infestation in 2014, which is actually a sequential year from 2011 to 2014. It affected about 2,400,000 trees. The infestation was concentrated in the Calabar zone and parts of Basilan in 2014. So in terms of comparison, this one is 516,000 compared to 2.14 million trees. But that is not to diminish the effect of the present infestation, because it is spread in many regional offices.
Sir, there are about 345 million coconut trees, at least based on some of the numbers that was given by the PCA in a past interview or a past press conference. When we take a look at the fact that 500 or so thousand infected coconut trees right now, napakaliit po yung percentage in comparison. But then how can this actually impact yung production po natin? And is it something we should be worried about spreading even more?
This is something that we should be very worried about, because the infestation is affecting several areas, though not as widespread, but with negligence and probably the lack of action from the part of government, working also with local government as well as the coconut farmers. This can be a formula for greater problems or infestation. So we are very concerned, and we are addressing this problem very seriously, because the effect can spread given the right environmental concerns.
So, Roel, you did mention that if there is inaction, if there is negligence, then it could become a worse problem. Ano po yung mga measures ng PCA when it comes to stopping the spread?
We are making interventions in terms of being able to address specifically the tree. The tree that are infested will manifest some symptoms, yellowing, browning of the tree. So what we do at the first instance is to remove the affected leaves by way of pruning. And for this purpose, we sought the help of the locals, those affected farmers. We employ them in some way so that they can actually do the leaf pruning. We pay them on a per tree basis. So once the leaves are brought down from the trees, you need to put the leaves or the fronds upside, yes, so that the sun will be able to diminish further the life of the CSI, the coconut scale insect, because the CSI are located, are preying at the underside of the leaf. So you need to, you have to bring it upside so that the sun can actually further diminish the population. So mere pruning can already diminish the population. And after which, we intervene by way of introducing mga biological agents. These are insects that preys on the CSI. And then we have a relatively very good success, particularly in the use of an insect we call Compariella. This is a locally located insect in Calauan, Laguna. And this has been used extensively in other areas to be able to control the pest infestation. So once the trees will manifest recovery, we will still intervene by way of fertilization. We are using salt as our fertilizer because with salt, we will be able to put back the productivity of the coconut trees, make it more resistant to pests and diseases. So, and after which, to those affected farmers who lost their trees, there is also a mechanism wherein they can ask for compensation from insurance, crop insurance. So these are all the mechanisms that are provided for. So there's also a continuing research and development studies so that we can really understand this infestation better. Coming from the infestation of 2014, we have noted some difference in the way the pest has really affected the trees compared to before.
I just want to go and dive deeper into that because some people might not understand what Cocolisap will actually do to the trees once affected. Can you give us one of the reasons why this is a problematic pest?
It is a problematic pest because it sucks the leaves, which is the source of the life of the coconut. So yung pag sinipsip nung Cocolisap yung trees, yung leaves, the leaves will eventually dry out, and that will affect the photosynthetic activity of the tree, and eventually it will affect the productivity, and in the worst case, the tree can possibly die.
Let's talk about some of the measures that you mentioned po. Let's start off with yung predator insects because using insects to fight other insects, siguro from a consumer standpoint, they would be wary about it considering the amount of insects actually part of the process. Are there any considerations when it comes to the safety or maybe the ecological balance in certain areas if this type of predator insect is used perhaps too much?
The use of insect that we are actually using Compariella, we're using Compariella. This sprays specifically on CSI. So, ang kakainin lang talaga nito ay yung CSI. So, where the tree is infested, we introduce the Compariella, and that will help lick down the problem, and hoping that a certain stability in the balance of nature will occur. And from there, we will have to undergo the other intervention. Specific po yung Compariella and all the other insect prey that we have located, so that this will not really create an imbalance of nature further.
Let's talk about a new threat that you are monitoring, if I'm not mistaken here, the coconut spike moth. This is a different type of pest. Can you tell us a bit more about this threat and, of course, how serious it is if it is something that has started to spread?
Yes, the spike moth used to be an inconsequential insect within the coconut ecosystem. But of late, sometime March, we've seen that it seems to have increased in terms of population in the Calabar zone area, particularly in Quezon. This is a pest that can actually affect the productivity of the tree because it preys on the young sprouting leaf, and then it also affects the inflorescence or the flower. So once infested or affected by the moth, the trees will tend to not develop nuts. There will be what we consider as nut abortion. Hindi matutuloy yung pag-develop ng nut because the insect, specifically the larvae, will prey on the flowers. So this is a serious concern that we are looking into. That's why we are working closely with the local government units, with the Department of Science and Technology, including the University of the Philippines, so that we can better understand the mechanics on how to be able to suppress the further spread of this insect. Already it's affecting about 20,000 trees. Again, you would look at it as a minimal number, but again, this is a serious concern considering the threat of many insect that is coming into the coconut ecosystem right now.
Up next, we'll meet the team behind a new low-salt patis made from green mussels. You're watching Weather HQ. Don't go away. Hello there, welcome back to Weather HQ. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Now, did you know that there is now a healthier alternative to traditional patis? And it's made from green mussels or tahong. Here's my interview with the creators of this innovative low-sodium condiment.
So basically, the idea came from we want to develop a product from tahong. So as an alternative raw material in producing a similar product like our patis, yung fish patis. But you know, why tahong? Actually, green mussel is one of the top producing commodities, aquaculture commodities produced in the Philippines. So the Philippines has a lot of culture areas suitable for mussel farming. So with the availability of the resource, the production of yung patis tahong can be sustainable. So that is basically one of the objective of the project. But, so making it a twist na medyo yun nga, we want it towards to a healthier version of the current traditional patis.
So Doc, I'll ask you this question because we are so excited. Kulang na lang, the patis is here. I want to try it. As somebody who drenches like sinigang and my pansit with patis, I am very excited for this because as you guys have mentioned, this is nutritionally healthier. There's less salt and it's better for everybody, I guess, in general. So how does this differ from regular patis and what are its, I guess, nutritional values?
Doc Reynolds, can you answer that?
Okay. What sets our patis apart from all the other patis is that it's high protein and also it contains other non-nutrient and nutrient components, which makes the product healthy.
What about the taste, Bob? That's Monique's biggest issue. Will it taste healthy or will it actually mimic the taste of a regular patis?
Actually, if we're talking about two commodities, no, mussel is different from fish.
Right.
Basically, the taste itself is different. It's closer in terms of yung maybe the umami flavor, pero our patis tahong has a unique taste and aroma. Because you know yung food nila is very much different from fish. It's like a yung crab-like, yung cooked crab taste. I'm sure you have eaten cooked crab.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's similar to that taste.
So slightly iba yung flavor profile niya. Actually, that brings me to my next question because Doc Reynolds in particular, when we talk about introducing this product to the Filipino consumers who have an idea na itong lasa ng patis, how has the reaction been to those who have tried this for the first time?
Okay, the market is very ecstatic about the new product that we're going to introduce, and based on the market surveys that we did, about a good 83% are willing to buy, and about 75% are willing to try. We also had it tested by friends, by chefs and local carinderias, and it seems that we have very good reviews coming from them. They want it, especially now that there's a growing market for healthful products, and I think it would be a very good. It can penetrate that specific market in the market.
Ms. Le, when you guys were coming up with this concept using green mussels for patis, how difficult was it to create something similar to what Filipinos love and use every day?
Of course, in every R&D endeavors, there are a lot of challenges. But for this project or for this product development, I think the very difficult challenge that I had is to control the quality of the raw material. Kasi basically we require yung green mussel namin live. Yung buhay pa siya.
Yeah.
Because if if even one mussel na dead na nasama dun sa batch mo will make the whole batch bad. So we made a lot of protocols, yung mga what to do so we can maintain the animal alive before shocking. Alive siya before shocking. Basically parang medyo sadista. So you have to shock it live.
Okay.
Para, you maintain the quality.
No, we understand. Of course, the quality has to be there. And when we talk about trying to spread this and trying to make sure na talagang it is an alternative industry that we can create, especially with the amount of mussels that the Philippines does in general produce, how replicable is this to different areas around the country and not just po sa area po ninyo? Ms. Le.
Actually, we have different, di ba? I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of suitable culture sites in the Philippines. One is to mention is Cavite. We have a lot of green mussel culture there. Pangasinan and Bataan. And probably Sir Tan can elaborate on this regarding our future plan.
It's very easy to replicate because we have a wide range. So long as the area has its potential for mussel culture, the project is very replicable. We at UPV, we have a wide range of technologies for mussels. We have perfected already the technology for mussel hatcheries. So areas where there used to be mussels can be transplanted with new mussels. Areas where there is an existing set of mussel population but seems not enough, we can produce hatchery produced spots. We also have also the technology very readily available, and we have also a good support from UP Visayas and the DOST and in particular any community with mussels, we can introduce the technology. Very reputable.
And how does your new innovation support the local mussel farmers or fishing communities around the Philippines?
One thing good about the technology is that it will not just support our Patis producers. It will produce, it can create many more ancillary services. Yeah. For example, it can support the lives of mussel farmers. It can support village women who will participate in post-harvest handling and processing, like shocking of mussels. They can help also in the selling and many more side ancillary technologies. So it can significantly improve the lives of the people, especially in our countryside and our fisher folks in particular.
Well, we have to emphasize live shocking po according to Ms. Le.
Yes.
A bit sadistic pero ganun talaga just to ensure the quality. But Ms. Le, when we talk about the interest of this, I mentioned po that the reception has been good so far. Has your group been approached in particular when it comes to producing this at a larger scale? Are we already at that point that we are comfortable with the type of product and the type of processes involved into scaling this project into something more?
Sir Tan.
Okay, sorry, Dr. El, go ahead.
Okay, a lot of we already have we have already received a number of inquiries regarding the technology. Some from big corporations and also from smaller communities. We already have a market research agreement with one big producer of patis, except that we're still trying to get we are still finalizing the additional necessary laboratory results to to strengthen our claim regarding the health and many other safety standards of the product. Among local communities also, we already have received a number of requests to somehow replicate the product in their respective areas so that it can somehow increase the income of mussel farmers and women also and women in the respective areas.
Yeah, we're so excited for the tahong patis. I know Paolo and I can't wait to get our hands on this. Where is this available? How do we order them?
Actually, we just finished the R&D, and then we did the process optimization. So we're looking forward to the commercialization of this product. So we have to, look for the right. Actually, we want to have it at the community level, people's organization, and let them produce the product. So basically, it's still a little further from coming into your table.
Coming up, we take you to Pag-asa Island where the Philippine Coast Guard is helping restore our coral reefs. Stay with us. You're still watching Weather HQ. Hello there once again. Welcome back to HQ. I'm Paolo del Rosario. The Philippine Coast Guard recently led a coral reef rehabilitation mission in Pag-asa Island in Palawan. Now, it is an effort to strengthen marine environmental protection in the West Philippine Sea. To give us more context, here's my interview with Commodore May Marafil, PCG Deputy Chief of Coast Guard Staff for Marine Environmental Protection.
Malaki po ang yung epekto ng coral degradation sa KIG. So kailangan po gumawa ng mga kailangan gawin may restore ng gobyerno natin yung ating nasisirang corales sa KIG po.
Ano yung mga restoration methods po ninyo in terms of the coral rehabilitation project po?
One of the key restoration method that we use yung coral frame po that we carried is yung we use the coral frame and then we may designated area po kami tapos kumuha po kami ng mga buhay na corals na transplant po. Parang nilipat mo siya sa isang lugar na pag i-restore nyo po. Yun what we call the coral plant transplantation po ang ginamit namin ng Philippine Coast Guard.
If I'm not mistaken po, this has been a longer project po. Can you tell us a bit more of yung history po ng rehabilitation efforts po ninyo? If I'm not mistaken, there was another effort made in January po, if I get that correctly.
Yes, sir. Ito po yung ang unang ginawa po, sir, yung tinatawag na assessment. Ito po yung kailangan mong as part of the important initiative na dapat kailangan ng paggawa ng restoration is to assess the area. So, once na ma-assess po, yun na, next na po yung tinatawag na coral transplantation. So, it was just, since the Philippine Coast Guard is guided by, dapat daw, ang trabaho namin ng coral reef transplantation is, science-based. So, we need scientists, kasi hindi naman po lahat ng mga coast guard. Do we have marine biologists? But we should be guided by a scientist. So, yun unang sinabi nila sa amin na guidance na kailangan may assessment muna bago makapaggawa ng coral transplantation.
Sino po mga private partners po ninyo when it comes to this project?
As of the moment, sir, yung una naming kasama is ang mga kasama namin dito is UPMSI during the assessment. And then ngayon, sir, yung only the Palawan PCSD and then yung Western Philippine University po. Sir, as of the moment, sir, it's the initiative po talaga ng Coast Guard lang po.
Are there challenges po when it comes to yung process? around the KIG?
So far sir, ang challenge lang talaga na encounter namin is yung malalakas na alon, yung pagda-dive sir, and then yung pag-transfer ng mga coral frames na tinatawag namin kasi may ano na minsan na tumaob yung mga rubber boats kasi sobrang lakas. So we're ready on that challenge sir. Yung sa Chinese naman vessel sir, pag ano ng mga vessel namin andyan na sila agad naka-escort. But tuloy lang po ang trabaho ng Philippine Coast Guard.
So hindi po naging issue yung presence po nila?
Ay hindi po sir.
When we talk about the ways that, kasi this has been a directive from the President din po in terms of trying to make sure na nasa-safeguard po yung biodiversity ng KIG. In what ways has the President's directive po strengthened yung support for yung conservation initiatives sa area po na yun?
Napakalaki pong bagay yung directive ng President po because it accelerated our marine conservation initiatives by providing clear policy, direction, and high-level support. So, and in response to that directive, the ambuting commandant po ng Philippine Coast Guard is dinirect po agad ako na gumawa ng initiative at magbuo ng team which is through our Philippine Coast Guard Marine Science Group na kailangan gawin na pag-restore, simulan na ang pag-restore ng coral reefs sa KIG po.
Ma'am, ano yung magiging measures ng success po ninyo when it comes to the assessment on whether or not successful po yung coral rehabilitation project po ninyo?
Yes, sir. Sa ngayon po kasi this is the initial start as initial lang po ang initial pa lang po to at first, so it's still early, it's too early to observe visible signs of coral recovery po sir kasi it will take time, mga months, years pa nga sa observation of the growth of the corals, but we will be there. We'll be conducting monitoring quarterly to monitor the fragments through documentation, underwater videos sir. So ano lang sir, kailangan na lang bisitahin every quarter sir kahit medyo mahirap yung maalon, but we need to be consistent with our objective na atin namin objective namin na ma-rehab po ang coral reef sa KIG.
Ma'am, you mentioned it po, medyo maalon, habagat season po ngayon. Just how big is the challenge po of the weather-related issues when it comes to sustaining yung monitoring po ninyo sa KIG?
Kahit medyo maalon sir, pero syempre kailangan, it is our commitment and our goal to the President na kailangan, so abang nag-aantay kami, we will be developing our capability, so training, so we need more trainings para dito sa aming coral reef restoration kasi and then we'll constantly build up our capability habang kami nag-aantay ng pag-conduct ng monitoring, but definitely quarterly monitoring po ang ano niya magiging sagot dito sa para ma-monitor talaga namin yung coral reefs sa yung development and growth ng mga coral reefs na inilagay namin.
And that wraps up this week's Weather HQ. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you here next week, right here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Have a great weekend.